Well, there. Yeah, I just kind of been watching some TV, been reading some blogs and stuff, and have more questions I get answers, I think, anymore. You know, this time, in our last presidential election, the Tea Party is real strong. It's everywhere. It's, you know, kind of like an AA meeting. You can find one any time of the day or night, someplace in town, somewhere around. Don't see much of them, haven't heard much out of them. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I support the Tea Party. I think there's a great movement. I think the candidates that got in on the Tea Party's coattail, they need to stand up for what we put them there for. You know, if they want to get re-elected. If not, then we need to get some more people in. We need to see what they've been doing, what they've been voting on. You know, we see quite a bit lately about, you know, 3%ers and oath keepers and stuff like this. A lot of people don't understand what they are. Oath keepers are pretty much just what they say. They took an oath for an office, or when they joined the military or whatever, to stand up for the Constitution, laws of the land, you know. And 3%ers, you know, derived their name basically from 3% of the people during the days of the colonists stood up against England. Took it away from them, carved out a country, got a constitution, put some laws up. A lot of people don't realize the Constitution was not made for the government. The Constitution was made for the people. The Bill of Rights is not your rights. The Bill of Rights are 10 things that the government can't infringe on. They can't change. They can't go in there and take away from. Well, here lately, the 4th, 5th, and 6th, they've been, you know, the Patriot Act and this and that, they've been chipping away at it pretty hard. I think we need to get some people in there to get that back, don't you? You know, you've been hearing more about militias, you know. Every once in a while they slip in a story about, you know, the militia. Read the Second Amendment. I understand it. I understand what a militia is. You know, at one time, that's all we had was a militia. Then, you know, the Federals took over the Federal Army and they, you know, had federal, you know, stuff, and they still had a militia. You know, the militia was basically farmers and businessmen and what have you, picked up their rifles and went to war. Well, now they've changed all that, and you have the federal, well, you know, they have the military, and you have, you know, what they call the militia now is your guard, you know, the state guard. Well, but then the federal government took over them. You know, they infuse money in them, and anytime the government gives you money for something, you got to give them so much power back. That's just the way they do business. So the militia we're talking about, a lot of them are sanctioned by the states, but they're not funded by the states. They're just a bunch of people out there, you know, armed and trained and stuff to protect the Constitution when the time comes. A lot like the Oath Keepers. You know, I was reading a study the other day, and it's clear that about 60% of the military are Oath Keepers. How many of them, you know, when things get bad and things start flying, you know, how much of them would actually stand up for their oath, or how many people just follow orders? That's something that, you know, we'll see. Been watching these polls, you know, this person's ahead, this person's behind, whatever. It seems like anybody, when old Romney's ahead, they're all rattle about, yeah, the United States is behind Romney, or the state's behind Romney, blah, blah, blah. But then when anybody else gets a little surge, they're like, well, that's probably just a fluke, or that's just in one territory, or this or that. It seems like they're always trying to keep Romney up there on top. A lot of the left, you know, they kind of crowd around, and if you really watch what they're doing, it seems like they like Romney. They kind of keep pushing him, keep him in the headlines and stuff. To me, I think the left like Romney because Romney's most like closest they've got to Obama. So that's my opinion. And I don't know, when we're watching these debates and stuff, you know, why don't they ask them a little more pointless questions, you know? Who, you know, give us some names of who would you like to have for Secretary of State, or running the Department of Defense, or Homeland Security, or, you know, and if they're going to get rid of these, you know, like that Department of Education and EPA and stuff, when they get, you know, they had certain things in there before that had become a department, and they enveloped them. You know, why can't they put it on their site how they're going to dismantle it and what it's going to look like afterwards. Give us a big picture of things. We're educated. We know how to read, most of us do. Some of us can even write halfway. Some of us can even spell halfway, Some of us can't. But anyway, so that's kind of my rant for today. Peace out. Talk at you later.